1 minute ago, Donald Trump has gone live and unleashed a direct attack on British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and the political shockwaves are already spreading. Through Westminster within minutes of Trump's speech, UK officials were scrambling behind closed doors. Emergency meetings were called, and the pound began to wobble on global markets. What started as a verbal assault may now spiral into the biggest diplomatic crisis Britain has faced in decades. This isn't just another outburst. This was a declaration, and it's already rewriting the balance of power between Washington and London. Moments ago, Donald Trump stood before cameras at a press conference in Washington and did what everyone feared he might do. He named Keir Starmer directly, accused his government of betraying America, and warned that Britain would face, in his words, serious consequences for its disloyalty. The statement hit like a thunderclap. Trump wasn't vague, he wasn't diplomatic. He was furious, and his message was crystal clear. Britain under Starmer is no longer seen as a trusted ally. Behind the scenes, senior U.S. officials have confirmed what many suspected. This wasn't an off-the-cuff rant. It was planned. The White House had prepared talking points, press releases, and media briefings to accompany Trump's remarks. He wanted the world to see that the United States is done pretending the special relationship still exists. For decades, that phrase symbolized mutual trust, shared history, and military cooperation. Tonight, Trump shattered it live and on purpose. Within minutes, British diplomatic channels went into panic mode. Foreign Secretary David Lammy was seen rushing into number 10, flanked by advisors, and security insiders say Starmer's team didn't see this coming. At least not today, not like this. They believed the situation with Washington was stabilizing after months of icy silence. But Trump's live remarks made it clear he hasn't forgotten, and he hasn't forgiven. He accused Starmer of meddling in the 2024 American election and claimed Britain had crossed a line that can never be uncrossed. The reaction across the Atlantic was immediate. Nigel Farage took to X within seconds, posting, "Trump is right. Starmer has destroyed Britain's credibility abroad." That single post was shared over 100,000 times in less than an hour. Elon Musk joined in, amplifying Trump's message to his hundreds of millions of followers. He accused the Labour government of being anti-American, anti-freedom, and dangerously naive. The online firestorm is now turning into a political earthquake. Meanwhile, markets are reacting. The pound dipped against the dollar as traders assess the fallout. Reports from the London Stock Exchange suggest investors fear new tariffs could be announced as early as next week. Trump hinted at it himself during the press conference, saying, "We're reviewing all trade deals with countries that don't respect the United States. And some people, some governments are about to find out what that means." Everyone knew who he was talking about. Inside Westminster chaos, cabinet ministers are divided between those urging Starmer to apologize publicly and those warning that any sign of weakness will only embolden Trump further. According to leaks from Downing Street, some advisors believe the Prime Minister's position is now untenable, that this is the moment the dam breaks. One insider reportedly said if Trump follows through, Britain could face economic isolation. Political analysts are calling it unprecedented. No U.S. president has ever publicly humiliated a British leader in such personal terms, not even during the Swiss crisis or the Iraq War. And yet this isn't just humiliation. It's strategy. Trump is reshaping global alliances around loyalty and personal respect, and in his worldview, Stoner has already failed both tests. By contrast, Trump praised Farage during the same event, calling him a man who understands what real leadership looks like. That single comparison praise for Farage. Condemnation for Starmer may alter Britain's political landscape overnight. Reform UK is already surging in the polls, and after tonight, Farage is being seen not just as an opposition figure, but as Trump's chosen partner in Britain. For Labour, the optics are catastrophic. The leader of the free world is openly backing their biggest rival. Diplomatic sources say the Foreign Office has been ordered to reach out to Washington by any channel possible, but so far no response. Trump's team isn't taking calls. Instead, they're briefing American media that the United Kingdom will need to earn back America's trust. Those are words Britain hasn't heard from Washington in a century. Right now, every major power is watching this unfold. Europe, China, Russia. The question they're all asking is the same. if Britain can lose its most important ally this quickly. What does that say overnight? The crisis deepened. Reports from Washington suggest that Trump's inner circle is drafting a series of executive actions targeting British trade, intelligence cooperation, and even defense agreements. According to sources close to the White House, the new measures are being described internally as a calibration of loyalty. That's Trump's coded language for economic punishment. The proposal includes a 25% tariff on British steel, and automotive exports, tighter restrictions on defense contracts, and a review of intelligence sharing under the Five Eyes alliance. In other words, the very foundations of Britain's strategic partnership with the United States are being shaken not quietly but in full view of the world. Trump's live attack was just the opening move. The real pressure is only now beginning. Back in London, Starmer is trapped in a tightening vice. The British press has turned feral with headlines screaming, "Trump declares Britain disloyal. Special relationship in free fall." Inside, number 10 senior officials are clashing over how to respond. Some advisors are urging Starmer to issue a public statement, acknowledging mistakes, to appeal directly to Trump's ego and attempt a personal reconciliation. Others argue that any apology would make Britain look weak and confirm Trump's dominance over British politics. The paralysis is total. Every hour that passes without a response makes the government look more desperate, more isolated, and more powerless to shape events spiraling beyond its control. The opposition senses blood in the water. Nigel Farage has gone on a media blitz, appearing on American television networks, positioning himself as the bridge between the UK and Trump's America. His message is simple and devastating. Starmer has broken the alliance, and only a change in leadership can fix it. Trump himself has reinforced that narrative, reposting clips of Farage's interviews with the caption, "A real friend of America, the symbolism is impossible to miss." In Trump's world, Farage is the true representative of Britain, and Starmer is a man to be ignored. Political commentators across both countries are describing this as a diplomatic coup, orchestrated live in real time by Trump and his allies. Meanwhile, the economic consequences are starting to materialize. Analysts at major investment banks are warning clients to prepare for turbulence. The pound continues to slide, and energy markets are already pricing in potential retaliatory tariffs. Businesses that depend on American contracts, aerospace firms, car manufacturers, pharmaceutical companies are bracing for impact. Executives are calling Downing Street demanding reassurance. But Starmer can't offer any. His calls to Washington still go unanswered. American officials have reportedly been instructed not to engage with British diplomats until further notice. Britain, once Washington's closest partner, is being ghosted on the global stage. The mood inside the Labour Party is turning poisonous. Leaks from internal meetings describe scenes of open shouting between ministers. Some are calling for emergency talks with the opposition to present a unified national response. Others want Starmer to resign immediately to prevent total collapse. The Prime Minister has lost the confidence of our most powerful ally. One senior Labour MP told reporters off record, he may soon lose the confidence of his own party. The fear is that Trump's words could trigger a chain reaction. Economic pain, political fragmentation, and a total loss of international credibility. Once that spiral begins, there may be no easy way out. Across Europe, allies are watching nervously but keeping their distance. Privately, EU leaders admit they can't afford to antagonize Trump either. France and Germany are quietly opening channels to Washington, trying to ensure their own relationships survive the new geopolitical reality. The message is clear. Britain is on its own, even Canada and Australia. Traditionally staunch partners are treading carefully. Diplomatic cables reveal that senior officials in Ottawa and Canberra have advised their leaders to avoid public alignment with Starmer's government until the situation stabilizes. The isolation is complete, and yet Trump isn't finished. Late tonight, he returned to social media with a post that sent Westminster into shock. Britain has treated America very badly. He wrote, "They interfered in our election, insulted our movement, and now they act like victims. There will be consequences, very big ones." The post ended with 3 words in all caps: respect or pay within minutes. It had been shared millions of times. The phrase is already trending globally. becoming the unofficial slogan of Trump's new foreign policy. Analysts say it's no coincidence that this language mirrors his campaign rhetoric. Simple, confrontational, and designed to dominate the narrative. Trump isn't just conducting diplomacy, he's staging a spectacle, and Keir Starmer is the unwilling protagonist.